The health department, with help from the Salt Lake City Police Department, shut down a homeless camp today. This was the scene earlier near 5th South and 7th West in downtown Salt Lake.
The health department saying today that the camp had to go due to health and cleanliness issues. They're now pointing these displaced people towards shelters and other places where they might be able to get help. The people who started the camp say they now have nowhere else to go, and they're not sure about staying in a shelter because most don't allow people to bring very many possessions with them inside.
It's a reality many families living paycheck to paycheck are at a higher risk of seeing because of soaring housing prices here in Utah.
Yeah, the Utah's Growing Pains team discovered the state is looking to invest more than $100 million to help. Our Chris Jones has been following this story for weeks. What's the latest, Chris?
Guys, this encampment is home to about 40 or 50 unsheltered people. The state is talking about possibly providing less expensive housing to try and make sure that these folks are no longer on the street. But now it's up to the state legislature to approve the plan.
My father used to take care of people in need, and I grew up doing this.
For Ty Bellamy of Black Lives for Humanity,
right now we've got maybe about 20.
Caring for the unsheltered has been a lifelong passion. She says there are many myths surrounding those who don't have a place to live.
And the people that are here are people that work. They have full-time jobs. They have benefits at their jobs.
Housing instability is a really, really big issue right now.
Andrew Johnston is the Salt Lake City Director of Homelessness Policy and Outreach.
It's about a large number of people that are struggling to maintain current housing or find housing that fits their needs going forward.
He says before the housing boom, cities would buy up old buildings and turn them into affordable housing. Now, however, developers are gobbling up those properties, and cities simply can't afford to compete. Johnston says when the economy is strong, we only see the obvious side effects of housing instability, like unsheltered homelessness. But when economic factors shift, it exposes more people, like low-income workers, living paycheck to paycheck.
So a lot of people fall in there. It's not just those who are unsheltered homeless at the very sort of bottom of the income scale.
But they need help housing people who make less than $25,000 a year.
We've got thousands of people who need that right now.
And with the current market, it's simply too expensive for local governments and developers to build enough to push housing prices down. Without state money, it's impossible to create deeply affordable housing, he says.
And that's a big need, and that's one of the big asks of the legislature this year.
Wayne Niederhauser is the state's new homelessness director. Niederhauser says the state has an abundance of one-time funding. His office is asking the legislature to approve $128 million for deeply affordable housing.
We're talking about rents between $450 and $600 a month, maybe a little bit higher.
We bring out clothes, blankets, hand sanitizer.
For Bellamy, if approved, the money will help. But she says it's only the beginning.
I think that's a good start. That's definitely not going to be the end-all, be-all.
As for that $128 million plan, approval may not come until the final week of the legislative session. Guys, back to you.
All right, Chris, thanks. And if you have a tip for the Utah Growing Pains team, we want to hear from you. You can send us an email at the news desk at KUTV2.com.